Hey everybody, it's Bum here, back today with a new video. Okay, so today I'm going to be doing a year in review. Okay, this is a small series I'm going to be doing across 3 boutique labels. There is really only 3 I can do this for because there's only 3 I kind of buy religiously. I mean, I still won't buy films if I don't want them or they don't match my tastes, but 9 times out of 10, there's 3 studios, UK studios, I usually will buy. So in the first episode, then we're going to look at Second Sight. Okay, so first of all, Second Sight, amazing company, been going for longer than you think, but in recent years, they've been churning out these big box sets and they've been doing some awesome films, especially some awesome British cult movies and British horror movies, as well as some American stuff as well. Okay, so in January then, they released Mean Streets, which I'm going to put a graphic of here because I did actually get Mean Streets, and they released High Tension. Okay, of course I got High Tension. So first of all, let me talk about Mean Streets. Mean Streets is an American gangster film, with American Italian actors like Al Pacino, people like that, I think. I haven't seen it even on DVD or anything. I'm a big gangster fan. I like to say I've seen most of the movies, but I'm very selective about the ones I own. I really only got Scarface, Boys in the Hood. I got Goodfellas and Casino and The Irishman, but they're all on DVD. I'm happy with that. So I was in no rush for Mean Streets anyway, because it was like a £45 box set. I didn't know much about the film, so I still haven't got it. I will get it. I'll probably get the standard edition, but for the purpose of this video, I wasn't going to go out and just spend money for the sake of it. So for January, then, we have got High Tension. So this is an amazing French extremity movie from the late 90s. It's directed by Alex Ajar, who went on to get a Hollywood career doing movies like Crawl, Piranha, Just to Never Let Go with Halle Berry. He's done Mirrors with Keith Sutherland. So yeah, he's got a good filmography. This is his first film, or like his first big budget film. And this is wicked. Yeah, it's really gory. It's about these 2 girls who are trying to escape from this killer. Well, the one's being kidnapped by the killer and the other girl's trying to save her. But not all is as meets the eye. So in January then, a solid start for Second Sight with Mean Streets and High Tension. That's why I should have mentioned at the start, there's going to be 3 categories for the year for these boutique labels. It's going to be peaks and troughs, it's going to be steady Eddie, and it's going to be outdone themselves. All right, so I'll let you know at the end for Second Sight. So that was January for Second Sight then, just those 2 titles. That's another good thing about Second Sight, is they don't absolutely bombard you, so you can afford to comfortably collect them without them bringing out tons of releases every week or every month. All right, then in February, like I was saying, in February there was only 1 release, and that was sort of to go along with High Tension, and that is the French masterpiece that is Inside. Okay, so this is a bit of a Christmas movie you could watch now this time of year because it's set on Christmas Eve, although the only thing that tells you it's a Christmas movie really is probably a Christmas tree in the living room and a little bit at the start when she's in the hospital. So sorry about that, disturbance in the force there. In other words, my mother-in-law just walking in my house as she does. Can't no, because she's got me Watership down 4K for Christmas. Anyway, so Inside, yeah, wicked French extremity film set on Christmas Eve about a woman who's at home pregnant. It's her last night of being up to duff because she can be induced on Christmas Day if it doesn't come on naturally. And then this weirdo turns up at the house and it all goes tits up in the most goriest way you can imagine. The scene at the end of this when the camera pans out on the staircase, I won't spoil a few, but oh my God, Boff Central. So yeah, anyway, that's the French extremity movie Inside. All right, and then we move on to the following month then. So it's the end of the first quarter in March, and they released, he says, all right, so it was good. They released Green Room and Possessor. They released them both on 4K in lovely limited edition box sets, but Bumper at the pass on them at the moment because he owns these 2. All right, so we got this one from CEX. It's quite expensive for a CEX title, £6 really. I wouldn't usually pay that much in CEX. And then Possessor. Okay, so I would love to have these on 4K. I like both of these films. They're both wicked. This one especially I would like to have on 4K, Possessor. Green Room, great film, but I don't know if it would be that much of a better experience on 4K or not. This one, though, because of all of weirdo visuals and things like that go on, it'd be bloody awesome. But when money's tight and they cost £30 each, £60, or £35, maybe even £40 actually, because they're 4Ks, so you're talking £70, £80 when you've already got them on Blu-ray, hey, Blu-ray, when you've already got them on Blu-ray, your mind thinks a bit different about buying them and you think you can buy other stuff with the money. So at the moment maybe I will get them. They're not going to go into print by the looks of it. So, but for now, I got these 2 copies. But a great release. That's not going to affect my score at the end. If I already got releases, I can give it a negative score for that because that's just the way it is sometimes. Okay, so I bet Green Room, a lot of people probably didn't have that title, so it was probably a good seller for them, although it's still in print. Wicked film. Then April the 15th, they only had one release again in April. So start of the second quarter, they bought a Borderlands. Okay, so I don't own Borderlands, unfortunately. Again, I didn't buy it. I guess maybe in March and April, I think I was saving for the Vinegar Syndrome sale in May. So I was trying not to spend a lot of money. A lot of these sets I did buy after the release date, a lot long after. I didn't get Borderlands because I'm just going to get the standard release, because the standard release is so cheap. It's down like about £13 on Amazon every now and then. If you catch it right in the basket, it's only ever 15 anyway, but it can go as low as 13. I just haven't grabbed it yet. I don't feel I need a big box set for it. I like the film. It's British as well, found footage. I've seen it a couple of times. My mate's cousin's in it, and we went to the premiere in London. So I have got like sort of association with the film, but I just haven't got around to buying it. And I don't know if I'm ever going to get the big box, because there's such a price difference between like the £13 for the standard and the box is still 30. So, you know, you're talking £17 for some cardboard on a movie that I don't love. I like, but I'm not in no rush to see. So I don't know how I was going to go with Borderlands at the moment, but I probably will get the standard release at some point. Okay, so far so good really for Second Sight with these releases so far. And I think, you know, amazing, but nothing too poor either. To me, the French Extreme movies are amazing. They might not be amazing to everyone, but they were top releases. Nothing in May, so I was saying, look, you know, you can easily collect Second Sight because they're even giving you a break in May, which I needed with the Vinegar Syndrome sale. So there was nothing in May from them. So we're now into the end of the second quarter, and they've released 2 titles. They've released 2 found footage movies from the Nordies, so similar in vibe, although different in story. Gonjiam, Haunted Asylum, and The Sacrament. Okay, so first of all then, Gonjiam. I didn't jump at this one straight away because this is a found footage movie that everyone loves. Sorry if my camera's wobbling a bit. That everyone loves, but I don't really love that much. But I thought I was going to give it another go, because I'm one of those kind of people where I think, you know, how could all these horror fans be wrong, you know, like, and with some films it's work, like It Follows. I never liked It Follows the first time I seen it, but I love it now, like, so I'm glad I watched it a few times, and Mandy was another one. So yeah, so I stuck this one on the second time. I didn't really love it that much the second time, but it was a bit better. I just think the problem with it is it's a bit too slow for the first hour. But you know, for people who like found footage but they don't like the trappings of shaky cam and all that caper, people running around going mad, this is like a full-on setup for a show. So like the guy's in a tent controlling all the cameras, so it's not very shaky. It's all pretty clear and pretty steady. So it's a bit like a documentary feel, really. So yeah, Gonjiam, I would check it out, but I like I said, I don't love it as much as the masses, but still pretty good. The Sacrament, so this is by Ty West. So Ty West is getting a new win now because of his successes with the Maxine trilogy. So he deserves it as well, because he's an awesome filmmaker. He always has been. I don't know when he went from his hiatus. This was probably the last film he done before he started Maxine trilogy with X. So this is a Sacrament. This is loosely based on the Jim Jones event in New Zealand, the mass like cult shooting, suicide shooting. All right, there's about these lads, they go into infiltrate this cult because the one guy's sister's in there. And yeah, it all goes a bit tits up. So this one has got the trappings, you know, the shaky cam, people running everywhere, mass hysteria, you don't know what's going on. But, you know, I don't mind it. I know it makes some people feel sick. But yeah, so that's a pretty solid release. I had this on DVD. I didn't have Gonjiam at all. I do have this on DVD. I'm probably going to give that DVD to my mate X-File 2708 because he likes a DVD, and I like people who appreciate DVDs. I don't care about getting any money for it. All right, so that's The Sacrament. All right then, so what was that? That was June. And then we're in July then. So right into the summer, and what did they bring out? Right, this is another month when I didn't get anything. I'm going to superimpose the pictures up by here, these 2 titles, because I don't know what these are, okay? One of them's called Haymat, or Hemat. The other one is called A Bittersweet Life. I think one of them's German, or some sort of European, and one of them's Korean or Japanese. But they're not my sort of films, okay? I think I don't know if they're dramas, romance films. They might have a little bit of gangster in them, but I think they're like, I think they're like drama, if it's melodrama or really deep psychological, but I've never heard of them and they didn't tickle my fancy. So I run out of room and stuff. I don't need to be wasting my money. So in July, I didn't buy anything from Second Sight, but they only had those 2 titles. And then in the last end of quarter 3, then in August, they released, Well, there is the standard edition of Strangers. I haven't got that. I haven't even got the limited edition of Strangers, but it's not a film I like that much, really. So I think I got it on DVD. I'm just happy with the DVD. Wobbly as hell, this camera stand, fair do, so I'm sorry about that. But they did bring out You're Next. Okay, so I got this on DVD again, and I never really wanted to upgrade to a blue, because I don't think it's an amazing slasher film by any means. But this came out on second sight on 4K, and it went out to print. It went off the site. It disappeared. I was like, oh my God. So that gave me mad FOMO. And I found it on HMV. So I bought it like in a mad panic. And it's back in on the site again now. So I don't know what happened. I don't think it was out to print. Obviously, he must have run out of stock and got some more in. Or maybe it was a mislabeled as out of stock, or they pressed more. I don't know. But I got it anyway. You're Next. So it's an okay film. Charlie Vincent's good. Although you don't see her in a lot anymore. She's good in that Australian shark film, Bait. She's quite hot as well. This Ty West guest in this, but he does get killed pretty early on. Adam Wingard and Simon Bauer, I don't know who directs it, who writes it, is one or the other, but they started off in horror movies like A Horrible Way to Die, You're Next, and then I know Adam Wingard, he obviously went on and done all the Godzilla movies and all that, so he must have been doing something right. This is okay, it's got wicked artwork. It's a wicked box set. I gotta be fair, I read the book as well. I'm in this routine. My son goes swimming and taekwondo each one a week, and I got to sit around for an hour waiting every time. So I always take a book now with me out of my second sights and have a read, because the phone, the internet bloody connection over this crap. So sorry for the waffle. You're Next anyway. So that ended quarter. Did it end the third quarter? No, it's one more month actually. September now. October, November, December will be the final quarter. Let's have a look at September. All right, so again, like I was saying earlier, so far I would say they're definitely steady. Second sight, there's some things I didn't want, but I'm not going to say they're crap because they're just not my scene. But in September now, then they really started loading up both barrels. I've got to be fair. So 100 years in the making. I've done that joke before. The Hitcher, sorry, say that a bit funny. This is the one that everyone wanted. It hasn't sold out, so I'm very, very, very surprised it hasn't sold out. But what a box set, you could double this up as a safety weapon in the house, like I was saying, knock a burglar out. But look at that, like super chunky, all sorts going on, cuts, books, scripts, storyboards, whatever. It's all in here. What a great film as well. I hadn't seen it for 20 odd years. And then when I watched it on this, yeah, just a great thriller, horror, whatever you want to call it. So September, they only done the one, but this was definitely quality over quantity. And then we're approaching the last quarter then. All right, so in October, Halloween month, only the one release again, but what a cracker it was. Late Night with the Devil. Okay, so I stated this film when I first watched it. I didn't think I enjoyed it. I think maybe my expectations were too high, but then on a second view, I really thought it was pretty good. I still don't like the bit at the end with all the lighting and all. Like my mate said, it feels a bit like a VHS segment at the end, the way it goes super batshit. But I was with it. The build-up's really good and everything. You do sort of get on board with Delroy Lindo or whatever. Delroy Lindo, he's the actor. He was his name, something Delroy though, isn't he, the host? So yeah, it's a really good box set. It's a little bit plain Jane on the back, but again, I read the book, really informative. Watched all the extras on this as well. Just one of those films you like the deep dive. So yeah, so in October then for Halloween, I Saw the Devil, wicked release. And then for me, in November, probably the best physical media release of 2024. For me, the pinnacle of second sight year, even with The Hitcher. So that's saying something. And this is the absolute monster that is the Blair Witch Project, okay? Now, I know a lot of people might not like this film, or they pass it off as like not very scary or cheap and crap and whatever, but you had to be there at the time, man. If you were about 17, 18 or whatever when this was coming out, the PR campaign got you, I don't care what they say, like, because the internet wasn't broadband back then, so you go on like these creepy website pages. It wasn't like it used to be. They take ages to load up and all, like, and you read about all these things. You didn't know if they were true or not. And you had all these stories about this, these documentaries. They were just amazing. And what Second Sight done with this? I can't believe I thought it was 4K. And I always say to myself, well, I don't need this on 4K. I was watching, I was like, this picture is amazing. And then, like, after a couple of days of discussions in Discord sites and social media, I realised it's just a fucking Blu-ray. It's not even 4K. So it looks awesome, I'm telling you, for a film like this. This was the best experience I ever had. I seen it in the cinema when it first came out. I had it on VHS, but this was the best experience I had with it. I watched the festival cut as well for about an extra 10 minutes, only a bit more arguing and stuff, but just, sucks you in a bit more. And yeah, this film is wicked. I would still like a little bit at the end. I know it would spoil the film, and it's not the point for you to see a big witch at the end or anything like that, but maybe just like a hand or like some feet scuttling across the ground or just something. But still, whatever, you know, it's not going to change how I feel about this film. And even though they brought out The Hitcher, for me, physical media release of 2024, so definitely Second Sight's release of 2024. Thank you, the Blair Witch Project. Awesome. And then we're in December then, so it's the last month of the year. Coming up to Christmas time, only the one release. Again, it's a bit of a banger, but you've got to be into it. All right, there's another found footage film from the noughties, so they've had a bit of a pattern Second Sight this year, and this one is Creep. Okay, so this is amazing. This is like the most awkward, get under your skin movie you could ever watch. It's about this guy, and he puts like an advert out. You'll pay £1,000 to, you know, like a student filmmaker to just come out and film him for 24 hours or whatever while he does a video for his son because he's dying of cancer. And it just gets weirder and weirder. I say it gets weirder and weirder. It's weird from the start, and he strips off and jumps in the bath. Straight away, he's like, oh, yeah, I just want my son to know, like, this is how I would hold him in the bath if he was you. Oh, this is fucking weird. But there's a scene in this, honestly, the tension builds and builds until you're ready to pop. And then, like, this guy's trying to escape, and he's stood there in the doorway, like, with this werewolf mask on. They call it Peach Fuzz. And oh my God, I'd have a heart attack. If I was in that situation, I don't care how hard I was, I would have a fucking heart attack there and then. So this really gets under your skin. That's why it's called Creep, obviously. But there's a sequel and there's a TV show there called Creep Files. So check it out if you've never seen it. It stars Mark Duplass. He's pretty cool. Absolutely directed by Patrick Bryce, who's good, big on the scene. So yeah, good set. Everything. I read the book on this one as well. Absolutely. Make it like talks about like passive attitudes and things, like, you know, like the movie Speak No Evil, like about people being really passive, like the people in this, so they don't upset people or come across as rude, and how it can lead to their undoing. So yeah, a great release, wicked way to end the year for Second Sight, Creep. All right then, so that's Second Sight then, a year in review, okay? So the first thing I'm going to do is give them the grading. Were they a steady Eddie? Was it peaks and troughs? Or was it just absolutely amazing? So I'm going to say it was steady Eddie. It's borderlining on amazing with The Hitcher and Blair Witch, but I do think some titles are slight filler, like the found footage ones and everything. I don't quite think some of these movies need the lavish treatment the Second Sight given, but I'm not going to complain. I'm buying them, you know, they're there, so I will get them. So I would say in between steady Eddie and amazing. Definitely not peaks and troughs, because it was good releases all the way year for me, all throughout the year. And then just quickly, if anyone from Second Sight's watching, this is my wish list for 2025. Thinking of the label, thinking of the connections with British horror. They've done films with Neil Maskell before. They've got to do Kill List. They better be able to get Ben Wheatley on board for an interview, do a big box set, loads of wicked artwork with the cult stuff, and it's just a phenomenal film. It's the best British horror film of the 21st century. So Second Sight, you need to do Kill List. And secondly, you need to carry on with your French Extremity, and you need to give us Martyrs. There's no point in having High Tension and Frontiers without Martyrs. And if you do find the time, you could do them as well, or Ills. Umbrella have done it. It is a good release, but I would get a Second Sight one, definitely. And then the last one, you've done The Craze before, you like British movies, so do The Football Factory. Hilarious film, again, got Neil Maskell in again, and Danny Dyer, you know, directed by Nick Love, is that his name, who does all the films. Yeah, so that would be good as well. I like a big box set of that. It's only got a DVD and it's a wicked comedy gangster film, The Football Factory. All right, then I've been Bumper then. Thanks for watching. The next one I'm going to do will either be Second Sight, or I've just done Second Sight. I'll be doing 88 films, and I'll be doing Arrow. I don't know which one I'll do next. We'll see. But anyway, thanks for watching, and catch you soon.